Hello and welcome to this review for Transformers Earthspark Warrior Class Alita 1. And now, even though it's a Warrior Class toy, the deal with those is that they're supposed to be the same size as a Deluxe Class toy, but two-thirds the budget, and I'll show you why. And yes, indeed, as you can see, these are all Deluxe Class toys, even this one from like the past 30 years, and they're all around the same size. She's actually slightly taller than Bumblebee, but of course, I mean, it depends. Different use of parts, different number of parts, different articulation, all that stuff. But show you that this size remains, there's a standard size, so it remains about the same. Now, I'll take it back. Take this back, there you go. We'll bring this one up close. Excuse me about that. Now, it comes off as being reddish through the camera. However, she is more fuchsia color. All right, and this actually looks fine. This is the pink that it is in to the naked eye, but yeah, it's more fuchsia than it is just red, which is good because that's how she looks like in the show. However, I don't know how much kids will mind, but there are definitely blemishes with the paint, at least on my version. It looks like it was very, a bit more cheaply made than a deluxe class toy. So as you can see, there's like, the spray paint's over here. There's flecks here too. And, there's some paint here for some reason. So it's there's definitely less care and attention, to these toys than a deluxe class toy. So this one here, the main issue with it, and it's by design, is that there are less parts, so the articulation will suffer. Luckily, we didn't see that with the Optimus Prime that I had reviewed earlier. He actually had all the essential points of articulation, including the head, waist, and knees. This one has none of those solely, and nothing in the waist, the head, and I'll show it to you. It's all one. It's a piece that's stuck here. So no, it does not move. There's no wrist, but that's okay. None of the deluxes in this line have wrists, and even the other lines don't have wrists. In terms of the arms, we do have the shoulder. We have universal ball joint at the elbow. But when it comes to the lower part, it's when the figure really suffers, aside from, of course, the neck and the waist. So there's no thigh swivel, and there's no knee, unless you would consider this a knee. So I'll show it to you. Like, would they sculpt a knee, which always really ticks me off, but there's actually, it's just one piece that they painted. They painted that part here to distinguish it. I don't know if you consider this a knee. Posing-wise, it doesn't look terrible. It looks passable, we'll say. However, it doesn't really offer you much. It's just a transformation joint. Actually, it's supposed to go this way when it transforms, but you can also bend it that way. I think they did it on purpose so that you could maybe give the illusion of a knee if you want to pose her like, a running pose. So, up to you. But I don't consider it a knee. And of course, there's nothing down. This is all this is all one piece here for the foot and the shin. So that's her. There is before we get to transformation, there's something I want to show you. She does have a gimmick, which all the Warrior classes do. I don't like it as much as the Optimus one. The Optimus one had, it was not necessarily subtle. You could still see it. However, he kept his arm when the axe was taken out. In this one, she actually loses her hand. So I'll show it to you. So she has a small gun here, and the gimmick is that you can just flip it. Now she has a bigger gun, but she loses the hand. So it just looks a bit off. I guess maybe it's transforming like so with the illusion of what they were trying to do with Twitch. But in this case, it looks a bit off since she does have a hand holding this gun and then suddenly doesn't. However, if you're curious, it is parts compatible. So here you go. And it's compatible in both modes. So I'll just deal with the camera. There you go. So we'll bring this back. And here you go. And yeah, the other fist is compatible 5mm, so you can give her, giant weapons, whatever you want to do. That's fine. And the backpack can be positioned as you'd like. There's not much posing in this figure. As you'll see, I'm a bit struggling, especially because the lower half is so restrictive. There's not much to do with it. But you can have a backpack that's tighter, bigger, up to you. But look, we'll get to the real meat of it, which is transformation. And transformation is the best part of this toy. It's a nice surprise. It reminds me a bit of it was Beast Hunter's Bulkhead. If you'll see the card too. It reminds me a little bit of that. So there's only one tricky bit, which is this part here, but we'll get to it. All right. So we'll start here. It's slightly a bit more imaginative than I would have guessed. So we take this part here and we bring it down, and here the head nestles right there. And to cover it, we're going to take this part here, bring this down. It's going to unlock. Here, I'll bring these shoulders up. This will go down. Here, you have to bring it down to unlock it. If you do it from the bottom, it will not work. And then over it, and yeah, that covers the head here. So this I found slightly clever for a budget toy. Then after here, there's 2 steps for the back. That's all I need. You bring this part down, the wheel well, and then you bring the entire part down. So, oh yeah, and look, it was intentional, but I did connect them, like so. And then you connect that part on top. So you see that the cart, well, it's the truck taking shape. Now for this side, there's no issue. This is the side, the bottom side of the truck. You're gonna bring it down. You're gonna bring this down over it. And one thing I do appreciate with all these Earth Spark toys is that they don't end up, there's no part loose. Everything has like 1 or 2 connection points, which is appreciated, especially since these are meant for kids to play rough. And this rolls okay, as you'll see. So that part's fine. Now, I'll just bring this here, get it out of the way. This, you can bring it down. So you can already, there you go. So that part's fine. This is the tricky part. So you have to, I didn't show it before because it wasn't necessarily needed to show you then. However, this does actually rotate, all right? So you rotate it as so. As such, sorry. There you go. There's actually not much room to maneuver it. So you see, let's get it. Did I get it? Yeah. This I'll just put back. That side's going to look the same as this. Perfect. We do have a little gun sticking out here. And you have the gun position, the bigger gun position this way. I'm going to leave it like this so that in case parents aren't sure, because it's not exactly clear. It's like this how your toy is supposed to look like when it's seen from under. From every other angle, I do like this mode. It's fine, it's cute for a Elita 1, it does the job, and it doesn't necessarily look like it transformed into a robot, aside from the very obvious pins right here. So that's a bit too bad, it does disrupt it. But aside from that, it's fine. And even from the bottom, it doesn't look terrible. Does it roll? Let's see. It rolls okay. I'm not a fan. Maybe it's my floor, but I'm not a fan of the snapped-on wheels. They're not pinned. They're not as freewheeling. So if there's a bit of friction depending on the floor you're on, it will not roll as freely. So that's it for Elita 1. Like I said, it looks the part. It has a satisfying enough transformation for a budget transformer. But when it comes to the articulation, that's just not there. It's really not made for collectors, which is too bad because she's a cool character in the show, and the toy does have, is the only representation we have of that character, and it's a cool legacy to that character that we actually haven't seen much the past 3 years. We're only seeing more of her in the past few years with the Netflix release, the Legacy release, and now this release here. So that's it. These were released in Canada just recently. They should appear in the States for the holiday shopping season soon. Take care all. Bye.